How many times have you forced a smile when you actually wanted to scream? You know that sinking feeling in your gut, swallowing disrespect just to keep the peace, while a piece of your dignity quietly dies inside. It ends today. Welcome to INVICTUS X. We aren't just talking about being tough. We are talking about the 10 specific behaviors you must stop tolerating right now to reclaim your life. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, once famously posited that harm is not found in the action of another, but in our interpretation of it. When we tolerate the intolerable, our interpretation becomes a dangerous mantra. I deserve less, but you do not deserve less. Stoicism is often misunderstood as a philosophy of emotionless endurance, a way to simply suck it up. This is a fatal misreading. Stoicism is actually the art of distinguishing what is within your control from what is not. While you cannot control the rude colleague, the dismissive partner, or the manipulative friend, you have absolute sovereign control over one thing: your boundaries. As we explore these 10 behaviors, understand that setting a boundary is not an act of aggression, it is an act of definition. As Seneca wrote, if you do not define your limits, you will inevitably be shaped by the whims of others. In our modern society of performance, we are often pressured to be endlessly accommodating, but this path leads only to the erosion of the self. Here are the 10 emotional frontiers you must defend, combined with the wisdom of the Stoics and the practical realities of modern life.
1. Public disrespect disguised as humor. The transcript from the video identifies this as the first crack in the foundation. We have all been there. You're at a dinner party or a team meeting, and someone makes a joke at your expense. Everyone laughs, you laugh too, but your stomach turns. The respect you accept in public dictates the respect you will receive in private. When you laugh along with humiliation, you signal to the world, and worse, to your own subconscious, that your dignity is up for negotiation. Next time this happens, do not make a scene, but do not smile. Use the calm clarity method. Lock eyes and say, "That was inappropriate. Don't repeat it." The silence that follows will be uncomfortable, but that discomfort is necessary. It is the sound of a boundary being built. Number 2, the violation of stated boundaries. There's a difference between a mistake and a pattern. If you tell a friend you hate unannounced visits and they knock on your door the next day, that is not forgetfulness, that is disregard. A Stoic does not beg for respect twice. As Epictetus might suggest, words without consequences are merely noise. If you state a boundary and fail to enforce it when it is crossed, you are teaching the other person that you are a liar. You must follow through. If you said you would leave if they brought up a painful topic, stand up and leave. The act of leaving is 1,000 times more powerful than the act of complaining. 3. Emotional manipulation through guilt. After everything I've done for you. This is the ancient weapon of control. It turns your gratitude into a cage. No one can harm you without your consent, and guilt is the back door through which that consent is stolen. True generosity does not keep a ledger. If someone helps you only to hold it over your head later, it was never a gift. It was a transaction you didn't know you were signing. Recognize transactional kindness. When the guilt trip starts, respond with what I call the gratitude shield. I appreciate what you've done in the past, but I cannot compromise my values or needs in the present to repay a debt I didn't agree to. 4. Constant doubt and interrogation. You say you are going to the gym and they ask, "Really? Which one? Who with?" You make a decision and they immediately undermine it. Living under constant interrogation weakens your inner voice. Self-trust is integrity. If you allow someone to constantly audit your life, you eventually lose the ability to trust your own judgment. A relationship without trust is just two people waiting for a betrayal. Flip the script. Do not justify. Simply state, either you trust me or you don't. I will not live my life as a defendant in your court.
5. Weaponized comparisons. Look at what your cousin achieved. Why can't you be more like him? Comparison is the thief of joy, but in the hands of a toxic person, it is a weapon of disguised contempt. Those who compare you to others do not see you. They see a vacancy they want to fill with someone else. In today's fast-paced world, we are often victims of what is called the society of performance. We are pressured to excel in every aspect, economic, social, and physical. As noted in Insights from GLASP, the current societal narrative promotes an unyielding drive for productivity at the expense of personal well-being. When someone compares you, they are enforcing this toxic narrative. Refuse the race. Tell them, I move at my own pace. If you are looking for someone else, go find them. Number 6. The saboteur. Downplaying achievements, amplifying mistakes. You get a promotion, they say, they must be desperate for staff. You make a typo, they bring it up for 3 years. This behavior reveals deep insecurity in the other person. They fear your growth because your elevation highlights their stagnation. However, understanding why they do it doesn't mean you should tolerate it. Stop sharing your wins with people who crush them. As the video suggests, the past should be a lesson, not a weapon. If they bring up old mistakes, cut it off. That is in the past. If you cannot move forward, we cannot move forward.
7. Mocking vulnerability. This is perhaps the most damaging behavior. You finally open up about a fear or a pain, and they laugh or call you dramatic. Stoicism is not about having no emotions. It is about not being enslaved by them. But to process emotions, one needs a safe harbor. A person who mocks your vulnerability is effectively saying, your humanity is an inconvenience to me. Psychologically, this denial of emotion is dangerous. As noted in analyses of Carl Jung's philosophy found on GLASP, failing to acknowledge and integrate our shadow or suppressed traits prevents wholeness. When someone mocks your vulnerability, they force you to repress your true self, leading to a fractured psyche. 8. The time thief. Demanding presence, but giving crumbs. They expect you to answer their text in 30 seconds, but take 3 days to reply to yours. They demand your time, but treat it as cheap. Time is the only resource you can never get back. Seneca wrote extensively on the brevity of life, noting that life is long enough if we know how to use it, but we waste much of it on heedless luxury or the demands of others. Match their energy. If they give crumbs, stop baking them a whole cake. 9. The "that's just who I am" excuse. They scream at you, then say, I'm just fiery, that's my personality. Character is not a static object, it is a habit. Using personality as a shield for bad behavior is the opposite of Stoic virtue, which demands constant self-improvement. Your response should be, I understand that is who you are, and this is who I am, someone who does not tolerate being screamed at. 10. Gaslighting, calling you too sensitive. The video transcript marks this as the most dangerous behavior. It makes you question your own reality. This is an assault on your logos, your reason. By calling you sensitive for demanding respect, they are trying to recalibrate your reality so that their abuse seems normal. Trust your gut. If something feels wrong, it is wrong. Do not defend the obvious. Let's look at a concrete example. Imagine Sarah, a marketing manager. She had a boss, David, who embodied several of these traits. He would make jokes about her presentation style in meetings, behavior 1, and email her at 11 p.m. expecting immediate replies, behavior 8. For years, Sarah swallowed the disrespect. She told herself she was just being a good employee. She thought, If I just work harder, he will respect me. She was interpreting the harm as something she deserved. One day, after discovering INVICTUS X and reading Marcus Aurelius, she changed her interpretation. She realized David's behavior wasn't a reflection of her incompetence, but of his lack of discipline. The next time David joked in a meeting, "Sarah's quiet today, probably dreaming about her weekend," Sarah didn't smile. She paused, looked at him, and said, "I'm focusing on the Q3 numbers, David. I'd like to stick to the agenda." The room went silent. David stammered. That night, when the 11 p.m. email came, she didn't reply. She replied at 8:30 a.m. the next day. Did David fire her? No. He actually began to treat her with wary respect. By defining her perimeter, she forced him to treat her like a professional rather than a servant. She stopped waiting for permission to be respected and simply took it.
Seneca warned us, "What you tolerate will continue, and what continues becomes habit." Look at your life today. Which of these 10 behaviors are you allowing? Are you letting a partner make you feel guilty? Are you letting a parent compare you to a sibling? Are you letting a boss steal your evenings? Every time you stay silent, you are teaching them that your silence is permission. Here is the hard truth. You do not have to cut everyone off after one mistake. People are flawed, but you must notice the repetition. Those who hurt you repeatedly are not confused about what they are doing. They are comfortable with what they are doing. It is time to make them uncomfortable. INVICTUS X challenges you today. Choose one boundary this week, just one. Enforce it, not with anger, but with the cold, hard resolve of a rock in a stream. The challenge. If this message woke something up inside you, I want you to leave a comment below. Share with the community. I won't allow insert behavior anymore. Let's hold each other accountable. Subscribe to INVICTUS X for more lessons on building a fortress of the mind. Remember, dignity and serenity grow together.